In other news tonight, a Kern County man on death row for more than 2 decades will now walk free. The DA says that she will not try Vicente Benavides for murder.
This comes a month after the California Supreme Court overturned his conviction, saying false evidence was used in his trial in 1993. Eyewitness News reporter Kristen Powers joins us now in studio with what this all means. Kristen?
Dave and Rochelle, Vicente Benavides is now 68. He spent more than 26 years behind bars, most of them on death row after being found guilty of raping a young child to death in Delano. But now he'll walk out a free man. District Attorney Lisa Green saying making that decision not to seek a new trial has been one of the most difficult choices she'd had to make during her time as DA.
In the early 90s, a Kern County jury found Vicente Benavides guilty of sexually assaulting and killing 21-month-old Consuelo Verdugo. Benavides was dating the little girl's mom, and he was the only adult with her when she was severely injured. But 1 month ago, the California Supreme Court completely overturned that conviction, saying false evidence was used in trial. Doctors who claimed the little girl was raped took that back, saying when they testified, they hadn't been able to review all her medical documents. Because of this, Benavides was taken off death row, and his future was put into the hands of District Attorney Lisa Green. She had to decide if she wanted to retry him for murder. She decided no.
I don't necessarily have to feel good about that decision, but I do believe it's the right decision.
Green says given this happened 26 years ago, winning the case would almost be impossible.
Time is somewhat of our enemy. Delay is the enemy of the prosecutors because witnesses forget or evidence is lost, things happen.
And on top of that, the evidence about rape that was used to convict him of first-degree murder is no good.
I don't think there was sufficient evidence to show that there was any sexual assault of the child. I do believe, because of the time frame, that he was the one responsible for the physical abuse of the child, the blunt force trauma that all the doctors agree were inflicted on this child. There's no doctor who said this child died of natural causes or anything of that nature. So I do believe that he is responsible for the death of Consuelo, but as I said, what I believe is not the same as convincing 12 people in our community beyond a reasonable doubt.
Tuesday, Green broke the news to the little girl's family.
I spoke with her sister. She's obviously disappointed. It's very, very difficult. It's a 21-month-old baby who is dead, and you know, in the end, her family has to live with the fact that he is going to go free.
Benavides has no previous criminal record. He's currently at San Quentin State Prison, and as soon as he gets back to Kern County, all current murder charges against him will be dismissed. Green says that process could take up to 30 days. We now turn things over to Jeff Platt. He's live in Studio C with what happens when Benavides walks out free. Jeff.
Well, Kristen, the big question now is once Benavides does become free, will he file for compensation for the 26 years he spent in prison once those charges are dropped? I spoke to one of his attorneys in Washington, D.C. and asked that exact question.
It's possible, you know, he's entitled to it. I'm not sure how he feels about that right now. I think that's step 2, and that step 1 was trying to get him out and, you know, getting to a point where he actually would get to his freedom. So I think that he will be thinking seriously about that option.
Melissa Hooper, one of Benavides' lawyers who you just heard, thinks that Benavides will in all likelihood return to Mexico once he is set free and isn't sure if he'll want to pursue a case in the United States court system. If he does, however, DA Lisa Green says she will fight against any compensation because she believes had Benavides faced second-degree murder, he still would have been convicted and would have spent at least 15 years in prison anyway. But Hooper says if that really was the case, Green would have went to a retrial.
I think that if they were to present the evidence as it really is, the evidence as it exists now, that they would not get a second-degree murder conviction. And they recognize that, and that's why they're not retrying the case.
I've reached out to the State Victims Compensation Office to ask what, if anything, Benavides would be entitled to in this situation. However, we have not yet heard back from them. Reporting live in Studio C, Jeff Platt, Eyewitness News.